Everybody, Elizabeth from Silvernest, homeschooling mom of 4, and I've been homeschooling for 12 years, and this is what's left on our shelf. We still have kids that are homeschooling, but they are past this ages and stage of this particular shelf, and so I'm just going to show you what's there. And again, you don't need any of these books to homeschool or all these books. We did do a lot of unit studies, and we did fall in love with books that we decided to keep long past when they were useful, quote unquote, useful for our home. Some of them, my kids, I give them permission to store books that they want to keep on this shelf from their childhood, as well as things that I would hope that they would read in the future. So this particular one does have a lot of nostalgia for our family on it. We're going to start with Beatrix Potter. This is the Beatrix Potter collection. And The Tale of Timmy Tiptoes. We read these as kids. We've done quite a few deep dives into Beatrix Potter and her movies and her life. The very first essay one of my kids wrote was about her and how she had this idea and this dream of little tiny books that were small for kids' hands to be able to hold back when people didn't really think about making books for children that weren't straight up fairy tales or like teaching books. A lot of teaching stuff or learned, but nothing fun. And my absolute favorite from this series, and I have a few different versions of them, but The Tale of Mrs. Tiggy Winkle. So I have a copy of this in blue downstairs and some vintage copies from the 60s and 50s, as well as reader copies in the correct size. Yeah, as well as some bigger ones. So Game of Authors. And then a whole series of Mo Willems. My kids really, really like Mo Willems, and so they got quite a few of them at one point. And so we have the Piggy and Gerald, the Thank You Book. I love my new toy. We've even turned some of these into plays before with Story Theater. This one is not Piggy and Gerald, but it's I Lost My Tooth. And then back to Piggy and Gerald, we have Should I Share My Ice Cream? We like these because they're good early readers. There's a bird on your head. And pretty simple to read. Waiting is not easy. Mo Willems himself decided to draw things that he thought kids could draw. I broke my trunk. I'm invited to a party. Second copy of a thank you book. If you haven't noticed, we sometimes keep extra copies because if a kid owns more than one, I mean, like different kids own a book. My Friend is Sad. I Am a Frog. That way if they move out and they want their own books, I can take them with them and not worry. My New Friend is so fun. And Are You Ready to Play Outside? So yeah, Mo Willems wanted kids to be able to draw his pictures, and he makes them really fun back and forth between the two characters, good friends. And so very funny. All right, some Dr. Seuss, Your Oldie Old Once, which we found at a thrift store. My kids found hilarious. More Millie Bedelia, Play Ball and Millie Bedelia. We love the original Berenstain Bears, and then one of my daughters loves the newer ones as well. So this is the Bears Picnic. This is my favorite copy of the Richard Scarry's best storybook ever. My mom would read this to me when I was a kid. My dad would read this to me. My sister would read this to me, and we read this to my kids. If you can find a copy of this, they do make more modern versions, but I like the vintage ones because they have changed a few things in them. The Fool of the World and the Flying Ship. That's one of my husband's favorite stories to tell the kids. The Cat in the Hat, not the one with the French translations, which we already showed in an earlier video. Paddington Treasury. We went through a Paddington kick as well. Oh, I bought this book before I had kids, The Oxcart Man, and then my husband has read it to them over and over again. It's about a man who and his family, who they explain all the 4 seasons and they get everything ready, and he takes it to Portsmouth and he sells them, and he comes home and he starts the year over. And it's great history, great showing of what life was like. Very simple words, good for preschool, early elementary, and very calming book. Family pulling together, working hard together. Or Ted Rand, The Sun, the Wind, and the Rain. This is all about erosion and just water, the water cycle. Blueberries for Sal, Robert McCloskey. We did a whole unit on this from 5 in a Row. So 5 in a Row takes a book. It is a curriculum that gives you the list of books. You get them from the library, and then you use the same book to learn all of the different things, rereading the story once a day for 5 days straight. So You'll learn your art, your language arts, your math, your science, all the things. And you get to pick which of the lessons that you want to do. It's a lot of you doing a lot of hands-on. It's not an open and go, but we really loved it for the early elementary years. And Ferdinand is also one of the books from 5 in a row that we've used. And like the artwork. And then Whistle for Willie this is my childhood copy as well. I love this book so much, and it took me forever to learn to whistle, and so it was really encouraging to me that I could do it. This is one of my husband's childhood books. More Richard Scarry, the best word book ever. Richard Scarry, Cars and Trucks and Things That Go. These are great for kids just to sit around and look through. I remember spending hours staring at these books, especially during quote-unquote nap time. The Little Engine That Could. This one is also an excellent. It's over 100 years old now, but it's great about not giving up even if you're small and you don't think you have what it takes. And I like the artwork. So, and this one, oh my goodness, I used to teach daycare. This was the book I would read over and over and over again. It turns out that the monster at the end of the book is actually Grover himself, and he's so scared and he doesn't want you to turn the page, and then he finds out it's himself, and then he's so embarrassed. Oh, love this book. And then a French book is Chasseur, which is all the different animals. When my sister finds out I'm studying something, she's really good at finding thrift store stuff. And then the last one is Eric Carle's Treasury of Classic Stories for Children. Aesop, Hans Christian Andersen, Brothers Grimm. And they're a little intense, but they're good. I think my kids, we did use this a couple times, but we tend to use other books when we get to this older age, but I do still really enjoy his art. And that is what is on this shelf, what we've kept over the years. Again, I do firmly expect my children to take some of their books with them when they leave. And of course, I do expect to keep some books here for my own kids that come over to the house that I want to read to as well. Hope you are enjoying your books today, and thank you so much for coming on this journey. Just a mom who wants to be helpful. Hope this was helpful, and we will talk to you soon.